Hey, gang, go get this stick so we can paint.
Lines. They're marks moving from one point to another, defining shape and composition, and they're everywhere. They're on my walls, on my cereal box, on my toys. And perhaps worst of all, they clutter up my papers. Look at all these! Straight lines, diagonal lines, wavy lines, zigzag lines, implied lines, curved lines! As you can see, my papers are overtaken by lines, and I think that leads us right into our first project. What you'll need to join in on the fun is some paper, a pencil, and a safety protractor. If you don't have a safety 3-in-1 protractor like I do, you can use a ruler, a protractor, and a compass, and that'll get the job done too. Now, why don't we take a look at this project and get you used to using some lines. First thing I want you to do is to mark a point right in the middle of your paper, just like that. And I'm going to eyeball it, but if you want to measure it out and get it exact, feel free. Now, take out your compass, and we're going to make a very handsome circle. And by golly, we got to dress it up. We got to make it look nice. We got to make him pretty, but mostly we just need to make it look neat. So far so good, right? Well, you can put away your compass now, because we need to get out our protractor, because we're going to measure some angles. Tell you what, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to take my ruler and line it up with the point that I made right in the middle of this circle. I'm going to make sure everything is nice and straight across the page, and then I'm going to draw a line like this, just like that. And then I'm going to extend that line to the other side of the page, and boom. And I want every line that I make from here on to be just like this on this page. Now, what I want to do with this circle is divide it up into 6 segments. And how many degrees are in a circle? There's 360, right? And what's 360 divided by 6? Why, it's 60. Okay, so line your protractor up with the line you just made. Make sure you're right on the point where that 90 degree is. 90 degrees should line up right with the point. Okay, and then mark 120 right here. And then 60, right, let's take it right here. Boom! Now, draw a line over here, just like this. And then, tell you what, let's make it easy. Why bother measuring again? Let's just extend that line, huh? Make sure everything's lined up with the line and the point, and just like that. And then, we do the same thing over here, man. This is real simple. You can do it. You can do it. I know you can. Everybody can do this. Here you go. Whoop. I didn't get the line that time either. What am I doing? There we go. Sometimes it takes a few tries, but you'll get it. You'll get it. And then we'll just extend that line over here too. And everything is good to go. It looks a little bit like we just went ham with a pizza slicer, doesn't it? Yeah, a little bit. Well, we ain't done going ham yet, because we're about to complete what I call pizza lines. It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. We have our pizza, but man, we need to fill it with toppings. And I think I'm gonna begin with curly cues. Then I'm gonna do cross hatches. I'm just gonna draw a couple of straight lines and go over them with some hatch lines. Then I'm gonna do broken lines. These are implied lines. And you do that just by making a broken line. It's very simple. And then I'm gonna do wavy lines here. Another wavy line, and another one. Then I'm going to do curved lines, just like this. I'm going to make them really big, really big. And then zigzags, just like that. I'm going to make 3 of them. There! We've got nice variation here. Well, that was pretty fun, wasn't it? Well, don't get too comfortable, because we're not done yet. While we were spreading all those toppings, we made a mess of things. Man, we totally went ham with the toppings. We got more toppings on the cloth than we did on the pizza. That's okay. These toppings that got on the cloth, I want you to make sure that they follow the same sort of pattern that you got on the pizza. So whatever direction they were going in on the pizza, make sure that they're going in that same direction on the cloth. That way, it'll look like we spun the pizza around as we were making it. I'm just going to make the same lines that I made before. Zigzags on here. Notice that they're one space over. Then curlicues over here. Another curlicue up there. There, we got that one. Now hatch lines. Just like that. Another one. And another one here. Here. And then cross those hatches. There. And that is pizza lines. You can use whatever lines you want on this, and if you have other ideas, feel free to use them. I still got a problem, though. I got all kinds of lines cluttering up my page. What am I going to do with this? I don't know.
I think I can clear that up for you. The line piper at your service.
Oh, God, my life. All right. How do you propose to do that?
Why, I just play a lick on my magic flute and the lines fade away. For a price, of course.
Oh, of course. Should have known this was going to cost me money. And what would that price be?
$2, sir, and the job is done so long as the job is done with graphite.
How much money in your line of work is there?
Not for the past 250 years. I really need this.
You know, there's probably easier and cheaper ways to clear this paper, but I'm racking my brain and I got nothing. So, what the heck, it's only $2. Tell you what, play your flute, bud.
With pleasure.
Well, that was fun. Ah! I bet you can't do that again.
Joy me, laddie.
Just got challenged by the line piper, and in my hizzy no less. Well, he said he can make graphite disappear, right? Let's play a trick on him, because I got myself a marker, and so should you if you want to do this next project. The first thing I want you to do is to take your ruler and mark the halfway points on your paper with a pencil. Just like that, and then the other side. Line up the points, halfway, yeah, that's about right. There we go, and straight across. We don't need to worry about those pencil lines because the line piper is going to make them disappear, remember? So now comes the fun part. I want you to choose your favorite line, and I want you to think about symmetry, and I want you to think about pattern, because we're going to be working with both of those this time, and we're going to be creating mosaic tiles. Tell you what, I feel like doing a curved line today, so let's insert a line here, a line here, a line here, and another right there. And now I've got a nice little guideline to go by. I can do the same thing over here, yeah, and as you design, make sure you're only using one type of line. That's part of the challenge. Curved lines. Look at all these smiles. Smiles and frowns. It's almost like a bird is flapping its wings as I'm making it, isn't it? A little bit. Now, let's do this. Pretend that we got circles going throughout. So far, so good. But now, think about all the details you can add and all the shapes you can make with that one style of line. Let's insert some stuff down here, right here, there. And another one right here, and then right here. And let's do, yeah. Now be sure to check for any details you missed, because that happens sometimes. Let's not forget to insert some lines in here. Whoop, whoop, there they go. Cool. Let's see, what do I want here? Oh, that's right. I need more of these. I know we're working with line, but think about all the elements and principles and how can we use them to our advantage? Balance, movement, pattern. None of the elements or principles are really ever isolated. It is a lot easier than it seems. Trust me on this. There. There. Now comes my favorite part, and probably yours too, the finishing touches. And let's just cover up a little bit more over here, and here, and here. Great job! I knew you could do it! I think the line piper is in for a surprise. WTF! You said you could make graphite disappear!
Ah, yes, but I didn't say I couldn't do away with ink. There'll be $3 extra.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa! What's with the markup?
Supply and demand, my boy. How do you think I make most of my money?
Alright, alright. Here.
Pardon me for asking, but what province are we in?
I don't know. The trousers?
Nice try, but all we need in American dollars.
Well, we can't all have what we want, now can we?
Oh, you'll get me money, and I don't care how. Till then, all your loins will disappear.
This is quite a pickle, isn't it? How do we make lines without drawing them? Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Well, I have an idea. But first, we're gonna need a few supplies. This next project's going to be a little different because we're going to be creating lines using paper cutouts. And to do it, we need to choose a word that describes the lines we're going to make. What's our word going to be? I don't know yet. Let's find out. Oh, I dropped my word! Ingenious, huh? Well, that's a pretty good word. Woo! This is a tough one. We can do it, though. We can do it. I have faith in myself, and I have faith in you, too. Now, let me show you how we do this project. To do this project, put the white paper on top of the black paper because we're going to use the white paper as a guide. Make sure it's lined up with the edges just ever so delicately, and then mark off the edges where the white paper ends and the black paper begins. And that'll give us a handy dandy little guide as to where our measurements should be. Now get out the ruler. And measure those edges, baby. Mark them off just like this. Straight line, whoop. And then another straight line right up here. There we go. Whoop. With my guide in place, I am all set. Let's draw a straight line going straight up here. That's how I'm going to begin my ingenious word. And then I'm going to have another straight line going, oh, this way. There. That looks neat. And then, what do I want to do? Ooh, I'm going to draw a curved line, just like this. Yeah, man, that looks neat. When you think of shapes and lines for your word, think of big, simple shapes and simple lines with just enough detail to explore your word. I want to break out of this straight line business that I'm doing right here, so I want to do some squiggly lines. Yeah. And then I feel like I want to do a cutout kind of thing over here, so let's make a thick line. Yeah. When you're adding details, think in odd numbers. Odd numbers are almost always more interesting than even numbers. Well, how do I want to handle this? I think I want to repeat this because I repeated these straight lines here. So I'm going to repeat my curvy or wavy lines over here, and I'm going to draw some wavy lines going right to the top of my page. Yeah, that's how we do it. And the way I've done this, it looks kind of like a guy is shouting something from the rooftops a little bit, doesn't it? At least that's the vibe I get for just looking at it right now. All those lines you just made on your black paper, those are your cutting guides. So, get the black paper and follow those lines. After you finish cutting out your shape, you can throw away the paper that you're not going to use on the project. Hopefully, you thought in big, simple shapes. And if you didn't, you may find that constructing your project during this next portion is going to be a little challenging. Are you excited? We're almost there! You need to get out your white paper for this next part, and you need a bottle of glue, because we're going to attach those pieces we just cut out. From all your paper cutouts, I want you to assemble your design. So I'm going to take this piece, line it up with my edges, and that's why we measured the black paper beforehand, so you could do this. So you could line everything up with the edges, where applicable. Sometimes you may have some floating pieces. And by floating pieces, I mean that they're not going to meet any edges. They're just going to be in the middle of this white space, like these pieces here. Take these, I'm going to put that right there. And you can use some artistic license. If this wasn't how your original design looked, you can use these open pieces to make whatever design you feel works. And I'm going to put this right here. And then last, I'm going to set that right there. Perfect. And now I'm going to take my glue and apply it to the other side. And right like that. Perfect. Now, line it up again, and press it down, and let it be. And then finally, for the coup de grace, the finishing touch, the piece of truth, the moment of honesty. I don't even know what that means, but it sure is fun to say. And then set that down, move it a little bit below, and voila! The piece is complete. The downside of using glue is that your hands get a little sticky. Oh.
Well, this is a sticky situation. Alright. No more punch. Alright. Where's the door? Oh, baby steps to the door. Come on. Oh, Jesus.
Hey, buddy!
Ah!
What? I tried that cutout project you did earlier. I think it came out pretty good.
Did you get hit in the head recently?
No? Why?
Just curious, because your project is unusually creative.
I know! I think it's time for me to go pro! What? I'm at least as good as you! I can see the title now! Bundle Ores in Black and White! A study in freshly tutored lines!
Why don't you do a few more projects and we'll talk about it later?
I knew you'd see it my way!
Joke's on him. I wasn't even looking at him.
Laddie. I don't suppose your efforts included getting a job? This is my job. Oh, dear. Oh, I'll never get me money. Oh, well, consider this interest. A trick. A dirty trick. Ha! I win! Now I can have my lines back and I don't owe you squat! That was never the wager, Laddie. I don't care. I'll just go on making art like this for the rest of my life. Will you now? Oh, what's this? I played the wrong note. That's better, and I'll be needing extra $10 because paintings are especially difficult. I really gotta do something about this curse.
I'll say, your anger is out of control.
He's erasing my lines! I am justifiably angry!
He's not erasing your lines.
You're right. He's erasing me.
No, you butthorn! Think back to every time he's played his flute.
Oh, he got rid of that one too?
Yup.
Why'd he play the flute? What a dirty trick. He might prance around in green, but after I'm done with him, he'll be 7 shades of red.
Would you say you're going to compliment his style?
This is no time for kindness. Are you mad?
Not according to my anger management counselor. What are you doing?
My friend, there's only one way to vanquish a Renaissance-era classicist.
With an industrial revolution?
No, with the power of rock. But first we have to lure the line piper in, and I think I have just the thing. Get ready. We're gonna do a contour line wire sculpture. We got our craft wire, we got our wire cutters. Let's clear the table now. And we're ready to begin. The thing about contour lines is that you want it to be one continuous line, of course. So you want to start at one end of your wire, and when you're doing this, you really want to think about how you're going to make this one continuous line. And that's the hardest part, I think, is making this one continuous line. But believe me, you can do it. You just have to think about it a little bit, plan how you're going to do it, and it can be done. Believe me, it can be done. Right here, I'm making the thumb. I got a crease coming up. That's gonna be something of a challenge, but oop, I got it. Yeah. I always recommend sketching it out before you do this, because if you've never done a wire sculpture with one continuous line, it can be really difficult. I've got the thumb just about done. Now, I gotta make a crease for my palm here. There, that looks good. Now I'm gonna come back around, make a crease on the edge of the thumb here so it doesn't look like there's too much space. And then I'm gonna come back around the thumb, following the lines that I made. There we go. And then I'm gonna make the fingers. Using the same technique where I loop around. Pay special attention to the proportion of your fingers as you're doing this, because it's very easy to get your fingers too big or too small. Try to get it just right. It's okay if it's not that perfect the first time around. And the finger that I just made, my index finger, is coming right around the middle of my thumb, because that's where a finger generally should be, the index finger. Now let's come back around and make the middle finger. Notice I'm just bending the line here to keep the contour line going. And this next finger should go about, just about, almost to the edge where my thumb is. And I come back around, and I start on my next finger. Look how easy it is to make fingers like this. You're doing a great job! Half the fingers are done! But watch out, because the hard part's coming up. Oh, it's gonna get tough from here on out. But don't worry, we can do it. Now let's bend the wire so that this finger curves toward the crease, and then we're gonna make another crease so that the finger forms. Ooh! Ooh, we did it! Yeah, that was cool, man. Now let's just keep going and make the pinky. Now, right around the bottom third of this finger right here, the ring finger, we want another crease. So I'm gonna bend my wire around and bend it around again to continue my finger, just like this. And then I want to bend it around again. Oh, I know, that's tough, but we could do it. And then I'm gonna bend it around to follow the curve of my pinky. Yeah! Yeah! Oh, that was the hardest part, along with the thumb, of course. Great job. Now let's bring this project home, and we can deal with the line piper. Take that wire, and make sure that the pinky is a little shorter than the middle finger and the ring finger. And then we'll curve that around so that it forms the outside of the fist. Yeah. This is looking pretty decent. Looking pretty decent. Where I have my fingers, I want the knuckle on the outside of this hand to be right about where the tip of my pinky is, give or take a little bit. And if I bend my line just like this, I can bring it down here, and right about where these lines meet, that's where the wrist is. So I want a line to curve in to indicate that this is the shape of the hand, and suggest that I've just made a wrist. There we go. Now, we're just about done here. Make that line curve in a little bit. And now, form the rest of the wrist. Now get out your wire cutters, because now comes the best part. Clip the wire right about here. And now, I have my fist. And if you can do that, my friend, you are very fine at making lines. Indeed. Great job. I know how hard that was, but if you just stick with this, you can do this. You can own this. Now let's blow it up. I see you've gone to the trouble of sculpting, have you? Well, you shouldn't have, because that'll be an extra $100.
Now! What are you waiting for?
What sort of trick is afoot here?
I'm gonna have nightmares the rest of my life!
I thought he'd just leave. I didn't think the kittens of heck would perforate his soul.
I see what you did there!
I'm never trifling with rock and roll ever again.
Hey, cool! Can I play?
No! We're not done yet. There are all kinds of ways that artists use lines. They might use outlines to begin an artwork. And then they might use a line to guide us through the artwork. And they might use different shaped lines to add some variety. And they might use additional lines to add a little bit of shading.
like say, hatch lines. Dark side's over here, light side's over here. It's going to be darker over here and lighter over here. And then I might do the same thing on the inside of the mug, just to indicate that it has a little bit of volume. And the same thing over here on the handle, so that we can see the light coming down on that. And to make things stand out, an artist might use thicker lines as opposed to the thinner lines in the background. Thick lines in the foreground indicate that there is a focal point and some volume. And then to indicate just a little bit of shadow in the background, we might have, some squiggly lines going up and down. This will also indicate that there's a little bit of mood going on. What is happening? This has become much more mysterious. You might even be able to interpret this as a pattern. And then an artist might introduce a definite pattern in the foreground, just like this, by adding crisscross lines to indicate that maybe, this is a tablecloth. And would you look at that? We created art again without even trying.
You have a habit of doing that, and so do I. I think you and I should exhibit together.
Look, I was trying to be nice earlier, but you're not ready yet.
Oh, no! I was trying to be nice. I already have an exhibition booked and I thought you'd want in. But if that's how it is, forget about it.
Why? Why me?
Because you're a butthorn, Soul Eater.